It was a bright Saturday morning, and the sun shone down warmly on the busy town square. Mia, an 8-year-old girl with curious eyes and a quick smile, held her mother's hand tightly as they entered the market. It was a bustling place, filled with the sounds of vendors calling out their wares, the chatter of shoppers, and the occasional bark of a stray dog weaving through the crowd. Mia loved the market. It was a lively, colorful place where every corner held something new to see or hear. She gazed at the rows of fruit and vegetables, marveling at the bright oranges, shiny apples, and the deep purple of the eggplants. "Stay close to me, Mia," her mother said as they moved through the crowd. "The market is very busy today." "I will, Mom," Mia promised, though her attention was quickly drawn to a man juggling 3 bright yellow lemons. She tugged at her mother's hand. "Look, Mama," Mia said excitedly. But when she turned back, her mother wasn't there. Mia froze. She looked around, her small heart beginning to race. The crowd seemed to swell around her, and everyone moved so quickly. People brushed past her without noticing the little girl standing alone. "Mama?" Mia called, her voice barely audible over the noise of the market. She turned in a circle, searching for her mother's familiar face, but all she saw was strangers. Mia's throat tightened, and her eyes filled with tears. She clenched her fists, trying to stay calm. Her mother always told her, "If you ever get lost, don't panic. Take a deep breath and think about what to do next." So Mia did just that. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and tried to remember what her mother had said. "Find a safe place and wait," she whispered to herself. "Someone will come for you." Mia wiped her eyes and looked around for a safe spot. She noticed a small bench near a stall selling brightly colored scarves. The woman behind the stall had a kind face and was smiling as she helped a customer. Mia approached the bench and sat down, clutching the straps of her little backpack. She scanned the crowd, hoping to catch a glimpse of her mother. The market seemed even busier now, with people talking, laughing, and bargaining. The noise felt overwhelming, but Mia reminded herself to stay calm. A man selling balloons walked by, and Mia watched as the colorful balloons bobbed above the heads of the crowd. She thought about how her mother would always buy her a pink balloon when they visited the market together. Suddenly, a voice interrupted her thoughts. "Are you okay, little one?" Mia looked up to see the woman from the scarf stall. She had warm brown eyes and a soft voice. I can't find my mama," Mia said, her voice trembling. The woman knelt down to Mia's level. "Don't worry, sweetheart. We'll find her. What's your name?" "Mia," she replied. "Mia, my name is Clara. I'll stay with you until your mama comes back, okay?" Mia nodded, feeling a little comforted by Clara's kind presence. Clara sat on the bench beside Mia, keeping an eye on the crowd. "Do you remember what your mama was wearing today?" she asked gently. Mia thought for a moment. "She's wearing a blue dress with white flowers," she said. "And her bag is brown." "That's very helpful," Clara said with an encouraging smile. "We'll keep an eye out for her." Clara waved to another vendor across the aisle, a man selling roasted peanuts. "Tom, have you seen a woman in a blue dress with white flowers? She's looking for her daughter." Tom shook his head. "No, but I'll ask around." While Clara and Tom talked, Mia's eyes wandered to the balloon man again. He was now tying a cluster of balloons to his car, but one bright pink balloon had come loose and was floating up into the sky. "That's my favorite color," Mia murmured. "Is it?" Clara asked. "I bet your mama will buy you one as soon as we find her." Mia smiled faintly, but her heart still felt heavy. She remembered how her mother always told her stories about staying brave. You're stronger than you think, her mother would say. Clara stood up. Let's try something, Mia. How about we ask the man with the microphone to help us? Mia looked where Clara was pointing and saw a booth with a speaker system. It was where the market staff made announcements about lost items or special offers. That's a good idea, Mia said, standing up. Clara took Mia's hand and led her through the crowd to the booth. The man behind the counter smiled when he saw them. What can I do for you? This little girl is looking for her mother, Clara explained. Her name is Mia, and her mother is wearing a blue dress with white flowers. The man nodded and picked up the microphone. Attention, shoppers, his voice boomed through the speakers. We have a little girl named Mia looking for her mother. If you are wearing a blue dress with white flowers, please come to the main booth near the scarf stall. Mia's heart skipped a beat. She looked around eagerly, hoping her mother would appear. Clara crouched beside her. Sometimes it takes a few minutes. Let's wait right here. Mia stood beside Clara, her eyes scanning the crowd. She felt nervous but also hopeful. The announcement had been loud, and she was sure her mother must have heard it. Minutes passed, and people bustled by, but none of them were her mother. Mia's fingers tightened around the straps of her backpack. What if she doesn't hear it? She asked quietly. She'll hear it, Clara said reassuringly. These speakers are loud enough for the whole market to hear. Sometimes it just takes a little time for someone to get through the crowd. Just then, the balloon seller walked by again, and Mia noticed something. One of the balloons tied to his cart had the word love printed in shiny gold letters. It made her think of the little notes her mother sometimes left for her in her lunchbox. Her mother's voice echoed in her mind, even if we're apart, my love will always find you. Mia took a deep breath, trying to hold on to that thought. The man at the microphone leaned down toward her. Would you like me to make the announcement again, just in case? Mia nodded. He picked up the microphone and repeated the message, attention, shoppers. We are looking for the mother of Mia, a little girl waiting at the main booth near the scarf stall. Her mother is wearing a blue dress with white flowers. Please come to the booth if you're nearby. The sound of his voice carried through the market again, and Mia's heart thudded with renewed hope. She stood on her tiptoes, trying to get a better view over the sea of moving people. And then, she saw her. Mama! Mia cried, pointing toward a familiar figure making her way through the crowd. Her mother's blue dress with white flowers fluttered as she hurried toward the booth. Mia! Her mother called back, her face full of relief. Mia ran toward her, tears of joy streaming down her cheeks. She threw her arms around her mother's waist, hugging her tightly. Oh, my sweet girl, her mother said, stroking Mia's hair. I was so worried when I couldn't find you. I got lost, Mia said, her voice muffled against her mother's dress. But Clara helped me. Her mother looked up and saw Clara standing nearby, smiling warmly. Thank you so much, she said, her voice full of gratitude. It was no trouble at all, Clara replied. Mia is a brave girl. She knew to find a safe spot and wait for help. Mia's mother crouched down to Mia's eye level, holding her hands tightly. I'm so proud of you, she said. You stayed calm and found someone to help you. That's exactly what you should do if you ever get lost. Mia smiled through her tears, feeling safe and loved. I remembered what you always told me, Mama. To breathe and think. Her mother hugged her again, then stood up and turned to Clara. Thank you for taking care of my daughter. I don't know what I would have done without your kindness. Clara waved off the thanks with a laugh. It's all part of the market's charm. We look out for each other here. Mia and her mother stayed by the booth for a few minutes to calm down. Her mother handed Mia a bottle of water from her bag. "You must be thirsty after all that," she said. As Mia drank, she noticed the balloon seller passing by again. This time, her mother called out to him. "Excuse me." The man stopped and turned with a friendly smile. "Yes, Ma? I'd like to buy a balloon for my daughter," she said. "A pink one, please." The man untied a bright pink balloon from his cart and handed it to Mia. "Here you go, young lady." Mia held the balloon tightly, her eyes lighting up. "Thank you." Her mother paid for the balloon, then turned back to Mia. "Let's go home, sweetheart. We've had enough excitement for one day." As they walked back through the market, hand in hand, Mia felt a sense of relief and happiness. She glanced up at her mother, who smiled down at her, and gave her hand a squeeze. When they got home, Mia couldn't wait to tell her father what had happened. She explained every detail, from the moment she got separated to how Clara and the man with the microphone helped her. "You were so brave, Mia," her father said, lifting her into his arms. "And I'm so glad there were kind people to help you." Later that evening, as Mia got ready for bed, her mother came into her room with the pink balloon in hand. She tied it to the corner of Mia's bed and kissed her forehead. "Good night, my little explorer," her mother said. "I hope you dream of happy adventures." Mia snuggled under her blanket, the pink balloon floating gently above her. She thought about the market, the kind people she met, and how good it felt to be reunited with her mother. Even though getting lost had been scary, Mia realized it had also taught her an important lesson. No matter how big or busy the world might seem, there are always ways to find your way back to where you belong. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to our channel for more such stories.